God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok kind of makes you feel invincible by killing gods and pipsqueak enemies. So what if instead of being an invincible god, I turned the difficulty all the way up and made it to where I cannot take any damage? I hate my whole life. Taking no damage meaning if I get hit and it does any sort of damage, I must restart from the last checkpoint. So let's get into it. Time for God of War, and you already know what difficulty I'm about to be playing on. So I chop down this tree. Kratos is genuinely barely tree level. It's crazy. Take it back to the house with Atreus, whose mother just died. And that's actually the whole plot point of this entire game. Faye wants her ashes to be spread at the highest point of all the realms. So of course that's what we're gonna do after we hunt this deer and get to our actual first part of combat. I was slightly rusty at parrying in this game and any combat in general because I haven't played it in over a year. Bro, I hit the potato. And I also didn't use the weapons when I played it fist only. And eventually, that's how you do it, baby. I got it done. And I'm gonna keep a hit counter for this game in Ragnarok so you can see how bad some of the parts actually were. But me and Atreus went on about our day hunting down this deer. Enemy health ball, really? And of course, more of the same guys popped up, and I took him out easily because I'm not rusty anymore. Who else is here? What's up, bro? Bye, bro. Back to the deer who we murdered, but this guy was a little hungry. So now I have to fight this troll as my first boss fight. This boss is as simple as it gets, saying that you see multiple of these trolls throughout this game, and they all get harder as time goes on. He is very easy. All you gotta do is walk around him basically and dodge. Why is he still attacking? Very subtly when he attacks. Come on! Thanks, Atreus. Doing a lot of damage. That boss fight and the fight before that brought my total hit counter up to 19. The game that taught me the art of stunning enemies. And this next part, for some weird reason, gave me some trouble, even though it's like 5 enemies you fight. Dude, I'm so fat! Hit counter of 29. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just go back to the house where we fight. I mean, we see this kind man, but we also fight him. All right, time to fight this really strong random guy. Totally not a rock or anything. However, this phase is actually very easy. There are only a few attacks, and one of them I have to dodge, and the rest I can just put my shield up and block it. But there is a thing where if I do too much damage to him in a row, he'll just do a cutscene where he punches me and does a small tick of damage, so I have to do it in bits. It's really easy so far. Oh, come on, man, I just built that. He then proceeds to full heal, but it's okay because I was Spartan Rage for half the fight, and nothing changed, so he got mollywopped in the second try. Never in my life am I not being able to feel anything and getting sauced this bad. All right, now that that's over, yeah, I should have guessed that. Time for phase 3. Now, the literal only thing that changed about phase 3 is that he got this one move where he goes in the sky and comes back down, and all I have to do is run away, and the rest is the exact same. And I'm pretty practiced on this boss now after fighting him for a little bit, so it's very easy. Sorry about that. Yeah, now that that's over, we're good. The hit counter is at a whopping 52 already. That was basically the tutorial. That's kind of sad. Now on our way to the tallest peak, we start our journey by going to the tallest mountain we could see just because we feel like it. But on the way up there are some fights, and they start getting harder because more enemies are spawning, and there are now ranged ones. But those fights aren't that bad yet. Tris, can you Did he just disintegrate? But I did find an enemy that I have to punch. Oh my lord! Because he's frost resistant. And we're gonna see more of these guys later. Atreus dies. Doing Atreus things gets us in the worst situation possible because this fight sucks. There are so many enemies in this very early game fight. Why is there 40 people attacking me, dude? They used to take down. And let me tell you something about this game. 20 enemies is way harder to take down than one hard boss. And it's not even close. Especially when doing this no-hit challenge, because I have to focus on 7 different guys attacking me at the exact same time while someone's shooting at me from far away. That being said, it took me quite a while, but I beat the first part of this fight. In the second part, it spawns a big guy who is a new type of enemy who just tanks everything. Yet there wasn't only one big guy, there was 3. And my damage isn't good enough to deal with them all super quick, so I have to bait them out and wait very long to kill just one. However, this fight actually isn't that hard because it's just those guys and a few little brothers. Alright, that fight was a little doozy, so now the total hit counter is at 68. This next fight is just to showcase one of the new enemies where you have to get Atreus to shoot them before you can hit them. And it's one of the most annoying enemies in the entire game. Read, boy, because I can't read. They only taught me war back in the day. It's in the name, God of War, it's not God of Read. Alright, boy. No? Okay. Anyway, there's starting to get more variations in our fights because we had to fight a witch, 2 of the big guys, and 2 guys that threw stuff at you. And unless you don't know, you're hitting me through 4 people. This is an annoying combination elimination because I can't focus on 5 people at the same time. I did get it done though, because luckily I had a full rage. Some guys pulled up on us thinking it's sweet around here. I killed them instantly, and Atreus even killed one. They came back to life and I killed them again, bringing our hit counter up to 81. Luckily, we meet Brock, who actually worked on the axe that we have and is a 5-star blacksmith. And obviously, I'm going to be focusing only on strength and runic because all the rest of the stats don't matter. Time to test out my new profound strength. Yeah, actually you can't tell at all right now. This next fight, I use my axe to freeze the spikes, so I'll have to use my fist, but it's not that crazy of a fight. And honestly, I've used fists for more than 30 hours in this game, so I destroyed them. I only got hit 3 times. We then see this really tall peak. That's gotta be the one. So we do this puzzle and make our way up there. And now it's time for another troll. Like I said, there's a lot of these in this game. Now the thing different about this troll is that he has little gas guys on the side that chuck stuff at you, but you can also chuck them at him, doing damage to him. And he is also fire, and he can throw fire at you, but you can just block that. The only actual difficult part is the 12 guys throwing gas at me from across the arena. Other than that, he throws a temper tantrum, and I could just run away and bait out his attacks and kill him very easily. If those guys weren't here, it would have been a first try. Holy XP! After using all that XP, we shot this boar, but apparently it's last of its species, is what this woman says, so we have to save the boar. Her name's Freya, by the way. She's a witch, and she's gonna help us. I mean, we're gonna help her. After saving the boar, we leave Freya's house and go onto the water where we see the statue, and I just test out the waters by chucking my axe in there, and a giant snake comes out. Weird. But it did drop the water a whole lot, so now there's this area that we can go to in the middle. This area is where Brock sets up his shop permanently, and also where you unlock fast travel. There's also a lot more later to come, but for right now, I just make myself a little stronger. We're now going to the mountain using this big bridge. After I chuck my axe at these people's heads and also fight them inside, both were pretty easy, but it did bring my hit counter to 94. And now, in Foothills, we meet Sindri, Brock's brother, who's also a blacksmith, where we can also upgrade our gear here. This next fight has a bunch of those throwing gas guys from the troll arena and 2 dogs that I haven't gone over, but all I do is go underground, you get a trace to shoot them out of it, and you beat them up. That's it. However, these gas guys throw a bunch at you, especially when there's 7 of them, and I have to focus on them. After a little bit, I took it out, making our hit counter 103. We are barely through this game. They then threw another solo witch at me. She got destroyed in no hits. And going on a little further, we run to our first ogre. There's also quite a few enemies lurking around, but all you gotta do is lure everybody around the arena and hit them with the fire bombs that are there. It basically one-shots the normal guys, and it does a lot of damage to the ogre, and that's all I did. Oh boy! Get out of here! More guys spawn after I killed the ogre, but he dropped the frozen flame, which upgrades my axe, which upgrades my strength. So these guys died, but the hit counter is at 110. But before we reached the peak, there was a black mist of impending doom, and Freya showed up and told us we need the light from Alfheim. So we went all the way back down to Tyr's temple, moved it, so now we can travel to Alfheim. Welcome to Alfheim. So in Alfheim, I fight elves, and specifically the dark elves. And actually in this first encounter, I first tried it. I was not expecting to do that. Now we head off on our journey to get some light. I just put myself in photo mode. So this whole time we're in Alfheim, we're gonna be fighting the same dark elves over and over again. There's only 2 variations. So we're gonna go over the first one. They are basically just normal enemies. They shoot out lights that can hit you, but you can just run over them real quick. And then their normal attacks are really easy to parry, but they are hard to kill compared to the normal enemies in Midgard. And honestly, a lot of fights in Alfheim are virtually the exact same, except for this one, because there's a new variation of elf, but basically they just run away with their staff out and have the same moveset. And also there's this Stone Ancient in this fight that you have to throw your axe at its weak point to actually do damage, but that's basically the only fight that changes. The only way for me to not get blasted into another universe by the Stone Ancient is to hide behind this rock and barely pixel peek him until he dies, which so far has gotten our hit counter up to 115. I now have to take the hard route because that door wasn't open, meaning I have to go through a lot more dark elf fights. There he goes. Am I right? Die! Yay. The flying eyeball guys, I don't even give them a chance to live. I just chuck my axe at them every single time, anytime I see them. And I proceed to do the same thing with the normal elves. No, you get away! Because I realized they kind of just stand there when you throw your axe at them, and it actually easily won me the fight and the one after that. But first, I have to solve this really hard puzzle.
We should go.
Look who just got it! I did! You useless brat! And we're still safely making our way to the light. Okay, not so safely. Okay, really not safely, because I have to go through this entire horde of elves. So it's, you know, fair. The devs made it to where they have really low health in this fight, so I just non-stop throw my axe until everybody dies. And we finally made it to the light after 132 hits. I go into the light, and I was gone for 4.3 seconds, and Atreus killed 300 people. I don't know how that equates, but he must have turned really strong when I was gone.
on. With my new profound light, Atreus now has light arrows, which makes traversing this area easier. And I had a couple of fights here and there, but they were all super easy. I only got hit 3 times in those, not too bad. I then let in all the light elves. I'm sure there's no repercussions to that later, but now it's time to fight the big bad dark elf. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that.
This boss does not have a lot of crazy moves. He has 2 attacks that you can easily parry. He has the same moves as the other dark elves that you can just run around. He has a move where he flies up in the air and he just shoots at you that you can just dodge around. And he has a move where he flies up in the air and he rushes at you. None of those attacks are actually difficult. The thing that's the most annoying is when he drops light balls when he moves, because you have to dodge around them and they explode very quick. Good thing is I do a hefty amount of damage to him, whereas a year ago I fought this boss fist only and it took me a minute just to do 1 bar. So I'm very practiced on this guy and I beat him on my 9th try.
Unironically, that's 8 times easier than fist only. Whoa. Just real quick, I would like to say thank you very much for how well last video did and is still doing. And just like last video, I'm gonna go ahead and say, if you enjoyed this video, please engage with it. Anything, hype, like, subscribe, comment. Commenting is big. It really does help me out and pushes the video out a lot more when it was early on. But anyway, thank you so much. DLC videos will be coming out soon, and back into the video. Finally, we can go back to Midgard. We also figure out Atreus is schizophrenic, but I'm glad we'll never be back in Elfheim. Hate that place. I finally get to see my homeboy again and upgrade myself a little bit more. Anyway, back to the black fog of doom. I can now walk through it. That was like the whole point of getting the light. Yeah, but I still have to explore this entire cave, and the fights in here were chump change. About 3 to 4 enemies every single fight, and they were just pretty simple fights in general. I'm now at a big crane. I need to go up. Atreus tried to move the crane and gets it stuck, of course. No! Common Atreus. But then I had to fight these enemies. This fight was very easy, and take an alternate route to get the crane unstuck. There was a couple enemies in my way that can now set themselves on fire, which is actually very annoying because they can do it at any time. Stop doing that! After finishing off the last enemy, I move this big trolley and get the hook unstuck. But there is now the 3rd troll of the game, and this guy is ice themed. The first half of this boss fight is the exact same as every other troll. He just stomps and I slightly dodge. The second half, he imbues his attacks with ice, but you can kind of just walk around him still. But he also summons these fire guys. They explode and they hit him, do a lot of damage, and I win. He gave me another frozen flame, and I put that trolley in the crane, so now we can go up. Atreus, why are you playing with lanterns? It's not that special. There was this really easy fire trap to get by. I killed the guys and got by the trap, totally first try. So after dropping this boulder, we started going up, and enemies started dropping from the sky, but they actually weren't that hard to take care of. After taking out the first wave, I just decided to throw my axe at the second wave because they lit themselves on fire, which made this fight very easy. More enemies started dropping from the sky. I threw my axe at them again, and an ogre popped out of nowhere. So I just raged, killed the rest of them, and the ogre by himself is not a problem. He's really easy to take care of. Come on! And on the way back up, there's a dragon. Yeah, a dragon pops out of nowhere. I gotta fight it. Stupid. He runs away like a little baby, and we're gonna chase him down. Sindri seems to be in trouble, so why not? We're gonna fight this dragon. And honestly, this fight is just a gimmick fight. I literally just gotta chuck 2 crystal balls at his face, and he goes down. And I just gotta hit him a couple times, and that's the end of phase 1. In phase 2, you do the same thing, but he does have a couple of attacks. One is a stomp where you just block, and one's a claw attack where you just dodge. And then he has a lightning attack that you just dodge to the side and throw a ball at his face. That's literally the whole fight. So I took him out easily, and the hit counter's now at 157. I was just passing by, man. The dragon is now dead, and we used its tooth to give Atreus shock arrows, which is better at dealing with multiple enemies than light arrows are. Also, the flying eye can now combine with any type of enemy, and you have to stagger them out of that enemy to actually kill both of them. This really doesn't happen that much to this game, so you don't have to worry about that much. And for some reason, this next fight that had 3 ice enemies and 1 flying eyeball enemy took me 10 minutes to beat, because there was one guy that would throw an icicle at you, never missed. He never missed. And then there was one guy that rushed at you instantly when you turned that corner, and for some reason, I just never adapted. And the same thing happened the fight after that, because I just kept getting icicles thrown at my skull. Luckily, there was only 3 enemies, but this was a huge skill issue. I'm at 183 hits. We finally made it. The tallest place in all the lands. It's not the tallest. Okay, well, this guy's here, and he's the smartest guy that ever existed, so I'm gonna chop off his head. So we take his head back to Freya, who just revives him. That wasn't very nice.
Really, boy.
I had to leave for what she did to my boy Mimir. I started going back so I can upgrade some things and get Mimir to talk to Jormungandr. Why? Just wanted to chat, that's it. But then I also took a small detour to Muspelheim so I can get this handle, because occasionally when you attack, your damage will do like double. That's literally the whole reason I went. On my way to retrieve a piece of a chisel, there was no real big fights until this one, where it's probably one of the bigger fights in the entire game. They honestly throw a big guy at you, 4 small guys. We're not done.
done, throw 2 ogres at you, along with about 9 different guys. This fight is definitely not for the weak. The first wave isn't too bad. After I take it out, I instantly rage, try to take out as many people as I can with the large stomp, and after that, I'll take out 1 ogre. After you do that, it's just 1 ogre left. It's really not that hard after that. Sindri's here somehow, so I upgrade my stuff, and there's actually a big armor guy that I have to fight, but his moves are very slow and easy to parry, so I take him out real quick, and the gas guys, putting my hit counter up to 194. Also, if you saw I didn't have full health in that last fight, that's because I put on a piece of gear that upped my vitality barely. But now it is time for Atreus to fix this and for us to go up this weird elevator thing. And of course, enemies are gonna start spawning out of nowhere. And these first few parts of the fight aren't difficult at all. It only gets really hard when there's 5 flying eyeballs looking at me, and a witch, and more eyeballs after the witch comes, and other guys. This part is a struggle. Like, how am I supposed to stop fighting, look at the sky, and shoot the guys out the air, whilst also not dying to a revenant, whilst, like... It was pretty simple, actually. Just throw my axe at the guys in the sky, throw my axe at the guys on the ground, throw my axe at the guys in the sky, kill the revenant. Now that we're done with that, the hit counter is at 214. That was a rough section, and it's time to fight another troll. And this one is also ice themed. And honestly, I did it in my second attempt. I'm not even going over this guy. Too many trolls. And I did my last and final upgrades before we get to Magni and Modi. So for phase 1 of Magni and Modi, I need to get them down 2 bars and at the same time roughly, or one of them just reses. So Magni really doesn't have any hard attacks. He has a couple yellow ring attacks that are easy to parry and 1 red ring attack that you can just dodge around. And Modi, he is really aggressive and puts the shield up and is annoying, but you can just easily block all his attacks. You don't even have to parry them. They're not even yellow ring. But them together, trying to hit you at the same time, it makes the fight way harder because I have to focus on both of them at the same time. Magni can also grab you, and if Atreus is being grabbed at the same time, I have to reset. And eventually, I just learned the boss, so I took them both out. And on to phase 2, they have the same exact moveset, but they both get a lightning attack, where you can just block both of them. Atreus, stop getting grabbed, you loser! Even though the movesets are virtually the same in phase 2, it took me a lot longer to beat this phase, specifically because Magni likes to grab me at the same time Modi grabbed Atreus, and that was literally 50% of the reasons I kept getting hit. There was a lot of trial and error in this phase, and it took me over 25 minutes just to beat phase 2, but I got it done. Don't talk about my mother! Don't talk about my mama. Now for phase 3. Modi does a lightning beam attack. They have to run around to actually dodge it, because if I try to block it, Magni will hit me. And Magni just slams his weapon on the ground, doing a big aura of lightning around him. And they can also throw Modi, which I just have to run away for. I love how I just look at it and I just go, what? These didn't change my playstyle like at all, because I just have to run away for all 3 of them. After an hour of fighting this boss, I finally beat phase 3. They're dead, baby! Which put our hit counter up to 261. Yeah, that's a lot of hits on this boss. Atreus keeps coughing for no reason. I grabbed this chisel and I got up out of there. Getting back on the lake, I go to Tyr's temple because we're still trying to go to Jotunheim to go to the tallest peak, but Modi shows up and kind of hooks us, and Atreus overheats. So now he's sick and we bring him back to Freya, and now we have to go to Helheim. Good job, Atreus, you ruin everything. But before I do that, let me go home real quick, take care of these homeless guys outside my house, and grab the Blades of Chaos. And the fight after that is actually very annoying because there's 27 enemies attacking me, and yes, I do feel overpowered in this fight because I basically 3-shot these guys. When I heavy attack, there's a lot of guys to take care of. So I got hit 16 times in this one fight. Back at Brock's shop, we upgrade our gear before traveling to Helheim. This place, it sucks. All the enemies in Helheim are basically the same ice guys I've been fighting the whole game. They do throw some new ones at you, but we'll get to that later. And actually, Helheim is fairly short. There's only a few fights, and all of them were super easy until I got to this one where they added a new big ice enemy. And by himself, he is really simple. He has a few attacks, and they're all easy to parry, and he's really slow. But of course, they had to add 8 enemies in the arena with him. So I just used my rage and called it a day. And the whole reason me going to Helheim was to get this guy's heart. And of course, he's a troll. His first phase is the same boring moves, and after I get him down to 3rd health, he starts hurling easy dodgeable projectiles. And also, after he hits me, his health stays down to 3rd still. He does summon some guys, but you can just shield bash them, instantly taking them out. The save progress in this boss fight makes it a whole lot easier, because if it didn't have it, it would probably actually be pretty tough. So I only got hit 7 times, and I took him out. I got this guy's heart, and got instantly out of Helheim. I then went back to Freya and Atreus. Atreus is now healed, and Atreus now knows he is a god. And man, does he become a little cocky brat after this. We're going back to Tyr's vault because we still need to get to the tallest peak in all the realms. And there's a black rune in here that somehow is going to help us out. So after solving this puzzle, enemies literally rip the goad into this building, and I have to fight them. Luckily, there's a big hole in the middle of this area, so I just put them all in that hole, and I throw my axe at the guys in the sky. Fight was not that hard. I did get hit 5 times though. After doing another puzzle, After doing another puzzle, there was a quick fight that I instantly took out, and I had to do one more puzzle, but this time I got trapped, so I had to actually do it before I died, and it was very easy to do. And we grabbed the black room, but another troll shows up, but there's actually 2 of them, but for some reason these ones are skinnier. And you have to hit the fire one with your axe and the ice one with your blades of chaos. And my damage is literally ridiculous, but they do this weird thing where they like slowly heal if the other one's not near their health bar, so you have to get them down at the same time. My damage is so good that wasn't a problem. Did it on my 3rd attempt.
How much XP does that say?
So with my newly gained 55,000 XP, I just maxed out everything and headed back towards the peak because we still have to make it to Jotunheim. Oh, hey, Sindri. Hey, Sindri. Shut up. This next fight. What? Had an ogre that I just staggered and got on the back of and killed every other enemy in the area. It was not hard, but I did get hit 4 times somehow. And back at this arena, I have to go through a good 70 gas guys that just launch themselves at you. Now, they are very easy to take out because, like I said, you can just shield bash them and it launches them and they just die. But there are so many of them, it is really hard to keep track of everybody at the same time because this took me 15 minutes to do and I got hit 18 times on some of the easiest enemies in the entire game.
This nigga is trash.
Anyway, we're almost at the peak. Modi decides he's gonna show up again. Atreus brutally murders him. These next few fights had absolutely nothing special. The same enemies I've been fighting in Midgard this whole time. Atreus, shut up! Look at the abyss down there. You will go down there, and I won't save you. Anyway, at the top of this elevator, that was a pretty small fight, but for some reason I kept getting hit. Kill yourself! It was not hard to deal with though, because there were so little enemies. I got hit 7 times somehow though. And there was also a frost ancient right after that. Took him out instantly. And finally, I made it back to the peak. So let's go to Jotunheim. And this mysterious guy shows up. His name's Balder, by the way. And he kind of beats me to a pulp. And Atreus shoots me, not Balder, me. And Atreus gets taken by Balder, and I chase him down. And actually, the scripted fight, you have to get hit at least 1 time when he's punching you because you can't block in time for him to punch. I throw Balder off, somehow he comes back. I just realized that he just like teleported back up there. And Atreus, me, and Balder are now in Helheim. This is all your fault, Atreus. Literally all your fault. At least I got a Blades of Chaos upgrade and realized that Freya is Balder's mom. When was she gonna tell me this? That guy almost killed me like 8 times now. This next fight is before probably the biggest fight in the entire game. And there's 2 big ice enemies and 2 enemies that can build a Fortnite wall around themselves and shoot at you. And that's all there is. But for some reason, it was very annoying to get by. It is now time for the boat fight, which actually is not as hard as you think it would be. Mainly because the Blades of Chaos are just broken in Helheim. They do a lot more damage to these guys, plain and simple. And these guys are also focusing the fire, trying to get the ship down, or they're focusing you. In the first part of this fight was just a bunch of normal enemies who go down fast, and then they threw out some of those annoying guys that I can just shield bash, but I took those out easily. First part, I did literally my first try. The second part of the fight is basically the exact same thing as the first part, except for they add the guys that throw the icicles, which makes it immensely harder. Immensely being I got hit 7 times, but immensely harder. All I have to do is just take everybody out, but that really wasn't the problem. Now it's time for part 3, where 2 revenants show up and a bunch of flying eyeballs. I just used my Blades of Chaos to throw the flying eyeballs, and it was free. I only took 2 tries. I'm genuinely probably the best gamer ever. It's like me, Shroud, LeBron. And now for part 4. It's a few bigger guys and a lot of smaller guys. And I didn't even have to kill them all for some reason. I just outlasted them, and then part 5 started. The final part had an ogre that I had just hard focused and staggered him, got on his back, and took out 50% of the people, and the rest of them were just normal guys that I absolutely destroyed. I got hit a total of 19 times in this area. I saw Pops. I don't care about you. I'm leaving this place. Get me out of Helheim. And when we get back, Brock and Sindri are here. And this is what my stats are looking like if you're wondering. And now we go to Tyr's not so secret door and go under the vault. And to get some mysterious object that somehow helps us, I gotta break those chains. So that's what I'm gonna go do. First, I have to get by some death traps. I break this chain, and of course, enemies start popping out of nowhere. And it's pretty normal enemies at the start, so I just throw my axe at them because there's a big fire ring in the middle, and I don't want to go through that. And then an ogre pops up. I think I'm pretty practiced with ogres at this point, so he was pretty easy to take down. This fight only hit me 4 times. And on my way back, more guys decide to spawn. You guys suck? I don't know what to tell you. That's how you do it. After a little bit of scammery and more death traps, I break the chain, and 2 big armored guys come out. Now this fight is actually not that bad if you take it slow, because usually only 1 attacks you at the same time, and you can block all their attacks except for like 2, and they're easy to dodge. I also used a rage because I know there's not a big fight coming up, so I just took him out like that. Woo! I then cheesed another fight because why not? And then I flipped Tyr's vault. I thought this guy was barely tree level. I then grabbed this weird object, and the hit counter is at 384. I then upgraded a little bit and used that weird object to go to the land between realms, and now we can go to the lost tower of Jotunheim. Jotunheim, which means it's time for the most annoying and probably second or biggest fight in the entire game. And it's the same fight that I have already done once, but it's more gas guys than before. And I've already been over why it's hard. It's hard to look at everybody at the same time and actually block or dodge their attacks. But I've already been over this, so I did it in 9 minutes, but I got hit 21 times in this 9 minutes. Holy. And for phase 2, I refight the Dark Elf boss that I fought at the start of the game, but there's 2 of them and 2 guys that fly in. And phase 2 was harder than phase 1 because both these old bosses attack you at the same time, and it's hard not to step on the 4,000 landmines they put up when they step anywhere. Also, the guys in the sky randomly shoot at you, and it's kind of hard to kill them because if I try to focus them, the guys will just hit me. And with some luck on my side with the Wrath of Flame, I took out Alfheim. Only took me 27 hits. Next up was Helheim. This one was really simple. It was basically the boat fight, not even going over it. I did it in 3 hits. Very easy. And the last phase has an ogre and a troll. How many is that now? It also has some small guys, but I just used the ogre to take out the small guys and do like a quarter damage on the troll and take down the troll very easily. Now the tower is in Midgard. We go talk to Brock and Sindri, and we can actually beat the game now if we wanted to. I don't want to yet. I'm actually going to go to Niflheim and do this for about an hour and a half and get the Evaldi's workshop armor that favors strength and runic, and I got a full set, and now I can go beat the game. I went from level 4 to level 6. Back in Midgard, we call Jormungandr and go inside his mouth and grab Ymir's eyeball because we need it to get to Jotunheim. Why do we need to get to Jotunheim? Some important aspect, I guess. Anyway, Baldur punched us out of Jormungandr and he wants to kill Freya. Like the reasonable adult, I'm gonna stop him from doing that, but she's gonna stop me from stopping him to kill her. Doesn't make any sense. And for the first part of this fight, I think you understand why I didn't go over that. Let's go over the actual fight. Since I'm so well prepped, my damage is very good for this boss fight. I did this because of my fist only run. It took me 3.5 hours to beat him, and I'm not going through that again. So for phase 1, he is ice themed, and I have to use chaos blades. And Baldur is actually a fairly simple fight, especially for me after I fought him for so long. He does one attack where he zips around, you can easily parry it. One simple punch move that's easily parryable. One move where he slams the ground, ice comes out, you can just dodge the side. And one move where he throws ice balls and you can just block. He literally has 4 moves. Occasionally Freya will tie you and Baldur up, and sometimes it helps you and sometimes it hurts you, but it's not too bad. First phase was light work. I did it in under 10 minutes and I only got hit 6 times. Honestly, I'm very good at this boss. So that means it's time for phase 2, which obviously is fire themed because the last one was ice themed. In this phase, Freya summons those shield bash guys, which is way more annoying than what she does in phase 1. And Baldur always starts off flying up in the air and flying down, causing a fire explosion. He also slams his fist, causing a fire explosion that will chase you, and he can throw fireballs, but you can parry them, throwing them right back at him. The rest of his moves are the exact same as in the ice phase, except they're fire. And my plan was to take out the shield bash guys as quick as possible. Freya summons them twice throughout this fight, at the start and in the middle, and I take them out as soon as they pop up. His 2 explosion moves you can just run away from, making this just as easy as the ice phase, because I also beat this in under 10 minutes, but this one I got hit 11 times because I kept dying quick. I'm just too good at this boss, I guess. After genuinely jumping hit with Atreus, it's time for third phase. And third phase just combines first phase and second phase. The only difference is he goes up and he can turn to frost or fire. That's all that's different. And if you can't tell, I'm pretty good at this boss, meaning them combining phase 1 and phase 2 really doesn't affect me. He is slightly more aggressive in phase 3. He just does his attacks more often and faster. That doesn't really affect me personally, so I beat him in 6 minutes. And I only got hit twice. That was so easy. So yeah, I let him go. Come on, I'm standing right here. You couldn't have waited 5 minutes for me to walk away? All right, he's dead. That's on him. And Freya's mad at me now because I saved her life? This god stuff is stupid. Anyway, we went to Jotunheim. I'm gonna die apparently. And we spread her ashes at the tallest peak in all the realms. And I got hit a total of 443 times. That's a whole lot more than I thought I was going to, if I'm being honest. Time for God of War Ragnarok. And we all know what difficulty I'm playing on. So it's time to stare at this for a little bit and see that Atreus is all grown up now. He's still ugly. It is slightly cold in Midgard nowadays, so we had to go get some food. Sadly, we got stopped by a random person. Oh, it's Freya. Remember how we like killed her son and all? Yeah, I still don't see a problem with that, but I did take a guaranteed hit. Not once, but twice. That's why you got hit by a tree. Yay, we did it. So now it's time to go back home, and Fenrir died. Whoa, Atreus, what are you doing there? How are you doing that? Atreus started having this hissy fits, and we saw Mimir, and I also had a fever dream. Hey, I like this type of dream. And when I awoke, Atreus was gone. Now I gotta go find him. So now it's time for our first fight, which you can just hold up the shield and not even have to parry parry any of these guys because they don't have yellow ring attacks. And they also are just on the weaker side of enemies. And trust me, I was struggling to parry. Played too many Souls games before this, but I took it out without getting hit a single time. I see a few dead animals. I'm sure that means nothing for me. And there was a few small fights that I took out all pretty easily, only getting hit 3 times between all of them. Honestly, I gave up looking for Boy. I don't need him anymore. Okay, so now I'm gonna fight a bear as a god. I don't think this is gonna go too well for you, buddy. Surprisingly, the bear is actually pretty annoying to fight. His one red ring down slam attack, which you have to dodge by the way, is really annoying to dodge just because it has a wide hitbox. Also the fact that I just suck, but we're not gonna go over that part. Anyway, the bear just has a few normal attacks. He does have yellow ring attacks that you have to parry, and like I said, red ring attacks that you have to dodge. Nothing too crazy though. It is the first mini boss of the game. Won't even call him a normal boss. The bear then made me really angry, and from there, it was barbecue chicken. That's a joke I never thought I would make on this channel. Now that the bear is dead, the hit counter is at 21. Atreus? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know. I would have not done that if I knew it was you. Oh wow. Anyway, time to go back home. And Atreus, see what you did to this poor cub. But there's a few guys that I gotta fight now, and it's the same fights as earlier. And they both were extremely easy. I only got hit once between both of them. So now let's go back home. We have an unexpected guest. Actually, we have 2 of them. It's Schmoden. What's the problem here, guys? Can I not just chill? Can I just say real quick, Sif Sabati? Oh. Okay, that was deserved. Now I have to fight him? Is it because I killed your sons or I called her back? Okay, let's fight. Let's fight Thor. The first phase of Thor, it forces you to use your fists. Thor, little do you know, buddy, I did a whole series on this. Thor also is just not that hard of a boss. He is pretty easy to parry, like everything in this game. And I beat first phase in 3 tries. So not set for second phase, which I can use my axe on now. And he honestly doesn't gain that many moves, maybe like 2. So saying basically nothing changed, I wiped the floor with phase 2 also. He only hit me 3 times. So something very important I haven't mentioned to you is that there's checkpoints in this boss's health bar. And honestly, a lot of bosses in this game are like that. Basically, if I get him down to 3 bars, he'll enter his next phase, and if I restart it, I'll stay in that phase. Whereas Baldur in the starting intro of 2018, I had to do his whole health bar to go to the next phase. Now obviously there's some bosses where you have to do their full health bar. It's just more common in this game that there's checkpoints, which makes it a lot easier. That being said, this phase I beat in 7 tries. Adding to the sad counter, you know, let's add 1 more just because he rezzed me. Kill yourself. It's time for, what phase are we even on at this point? I don't know, but I swear they're not adding anything. So skipping that phase, we're on the last phase, and he just adds a little bit of lightning moves that are really easy to move out the way of. Honestly, Thor, my son was harder to fight than you. Pick it up. I beat the final phase. He only hit me 5 times in the last 2 phases. The All-Father had plans for him. Yeah, get headbutt, loser. Thor decides to dip, and I go back home. And Atreus is alright, so I'm alright. I would've been alright if he wasn't alright, but I'm semi-more alright. So now they're going over stats, so obviously we're gonna be focused on strength and runic, nothing else. And Atreus said he found some secret mural thing, so why not? Let's go ahead to it. Even though I don't trust him at all anymore, because he betrayed my trust. How did he betray my trust? I actually have no idea. He just did. Now it's time for the elemental health bars. I just have to use the opposite element than it shows to do damage on them. So if it shows blue, just use the chaos blades, and vice versa. There's also a third option, but we'll get into that later. So after traversing a little bit more, we find another camp of guys and send a guy to space. Artemis 3's coming up, and we are still fighting the same pushover guys as earlier. Even with the elemental health bars, they're not hard to fight at all. I've only been hit twice since the last hit counter check. I also learned the overpowered skill of button mashing triangle with the chaos blades and hitting R1. It just doesn't allow anybody to hit you, sets them on fire, and does good damage. And I didn't get hit by this fight, even though it's a huge fight. This is the most broken thing ever, and it's what I'm gonna be doing on every single enemy fight, maybe for the whole game. And then some innocent people rolled up on me again. I murdered them, and I got attacked while going up a wall. It seems to be a horse lady. Horse lady? I used the same button mash attack on the Huntress because it's just too good not to. I can easily get separation on her, and I mainly did it just to set her on fire. And after I set her on fire, I would just do my normal attacks. You can also throw your axe at her horns when they're glowing, which stuns her, allowing you to get damage off. It seems as if all the people's skulls I was bashing in with my shield made to where it broke. So I have to dodge every attack instead of try to parry it or block it because I can't, because it's broken. Which made this boss slightly harder, but it is not that hard of a boss at all. I do good damage, and she doesn't have a lot of moves, so it was not that difficult. She must not know that all we do is hunt deer around here. She hit me 11 times though. Me and Boy finally made some mural, where he shows a secret path that's in every single one. Now the secret area shows us Tyr, who was the old god of war, who honestly I'll probably kill eventually. You know, god of war. I mean, come on, it's in the title. And one more bland fight later, a big guy came out, and I hit him with the good old triangle R1 mash, right to his dome multiple times. Now back home, we see Sindri, who somehow has now unlocked interdimensional traveling and has a house in between the realms. That makes sense, honestly. I should upgrade my stuff if you guys don't mind. And in Ragnarok, there's actually different types of shields you can have, and the best shield I could possibly have is the Stonewall shield because I don't have to parry any yellow ring attacks. I could just block them. Now it does make it to where I can't parry, but that's better because I don't take any damage while doing it. So obviously I got the Dauntless shield. I also got Vidir's armor set, and I'm going to use it throughout the entire run because it's the second highest strength stat armor set in the entire game. Since Atreus thinks he knows where Tyr is, we got Sindri to help us get to another realm. Because Odin locked travel between realms, Sindri somehow found a way to get us to this realm. So now we're in Svartalfheim. After killing these little guys, we got to make our way to Tyr. We actually don't know where he is. We're looking for Durlin first because he's supposed to know where he's at. I'm sure that's going to become true. But there's a lot of puzzles in Svartalfheim and some annoying fights for sure. Obviously there's some new enemies who are super aggressive, and it would have been great to be able to sit behind my Stonewall shield, yet I didn't get the Stonewall shield. So now I have to try and parry these yellow ring attacks that are pretty quick, which is going to be a problem for me. This intro to Svartalfheim's enemies hit me 15 times. This is going to be a sad area, isn't it? Now it's time for a couple easy fights and a couple easy puzzles. And now we're at the Midget Village, or the dwarves, whatever you want to call them. And they're all running away from me. Must be scared of people over 2'4". Sindri enhanced Atreus' bow, so now we can go wherever we want to go. Haha, rhymed! I instantly crafted the Stonewall shield because I'm not going through any of that parrying stuff. After progressing some more, we talk to this short guy, as everyone is in this village, who leads us to Durlin. And Durlin basically goes, I'm not going to help you, I'm going to edge you a little bit. Kill yourself. And this next fight absolutely cooked me for 20 minutes for some reason. I'm sitting here trying to figure out still why I did this, because it's the same enemies you fight throughout this entire area, but for some reason this exact fight was the only one I struggled with this much. I'd rather get beat with a stick, a spiky stick, maybe even a spiky club, than do this fight. This fight is so bad. I don't think it was more of the fight. I think it was more of me. Lack of focus going on here, because how was I getting hit by those spitter guys? I want to kill myself this many times. Anyway, the fight hit me 24 times and I got rid of everybody eventually. Glubber, die, fat glubber. Anyway, I take a small little dwarven train ride up to a Dreki. Oh, that one's sleeping. Oh, he's dead. Until he wakes up and kills Atreus. He dies. Oh, there's another Dreki. And with the Stonewall shield, the Dreki is free easy GG because I can just sit behind and not worry about any of his attacks basically, because most of his attacks are normal or yellow ring attacks. He does have a few red ring. How did that miss me? But they're easy enough to dodge for me not have to worry about them. So I only got hit 5 times, and that was just because of skill issues. Moving on, Atreus gives some horrible directions. We make our way up the train again, get attacked, right? See a troll, kill him. Yes, I don't want to fight another one of these yet. Sorry, it's just like causes PTSD. Too many of those in 2018. And now we have to make our way through the mines. Oh my! After upgrading my rage and doing a quick little puzzle, we find Sindri, who gives us a light. What is that? And a random fight came out of nowhere. As they do in this game, it was only like 5 guys, and it was mostly normal enemies. It was not hard at all. I got hit 2 times though. Now it's time to explore the mines. For some reason, Tyr's locked up here. We came across some weird spitting guy who is very fat. That wasn't very nice. But with my Stonewall shield and my ranged attacks, he was not a hard fight. He did hit me 3 times though. After traversing the mines a little bit more, I upgraded my handles and my armor a little bit. I then did some mediocre puzzles and some mediocre fights. Traversing some more and doing some more puzzles, we make our way to Tyr's prison, where Odin's little guys show up. I don't know how to say that name. Oh, sorry, Papa. So we're just gonna say Odin's little guys. And these guys have Bifrost, which we're gonna count as a hit. And Bifrost can hit you if it hits you with the AoE, but it doesn't actually do damage to you unless they hit you again. But we're gonna count it as a hit anyway. Bro! Because it's moving my health bar somehow. Little did I know how bad of a problem this is gonna be later on. But we're not at later on. We're on right now. And it's still a problem. There were quite a few of the Enhinyar. That doesn't sound right. Odin's little guys. And they're all for some reason quite tanky. Woo! So it took me 9 hits to beat them. Time to see if Tyr's actually here, which he is. Sadly, he is literally useless.
Calm down, Jamal.
For the entire game. He does nothing. You're supposed to be a god of war. I'm a god of war, and I do a lot. Time for Odin's slightly bigger little guy, who also applies Bifrost, but I can block some of his attacks like the other guys, and he has a lot more health, obviously.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
After getting DDT'd, I had to forcefully take them all out. I mean, I was gonna do that anyway, but I had a little bit more anger in me. I did get hit 6 times here though. After having a talk with Tyr. We had to get out of here before Odin's little guy showed up. So we used our very strong powers and we dipped out of there real quick. Back at the house, Tyr's chatting it up. I upgrade the same things and it's time to do a little resting. Switching to Atreus, he's sneaking out. Classic Atreus. Of course he's sneaking out to go see Freya. Even more classic Atreus. So as Atreus, we have to go speak to Jormungandr to figure out how to talk to Freya or something like that. But there was a quick little fight in our way. Now I hate to be the one to say this, but Atreus's combat is really good. And honestly, he's really strong. If you headshot enemies with his bow, it does a whole lot of stun, allowing you to easily get stagger hits off on them. Also, you can just play from far away because he has a bow, allowing me personally not to get hit. After wiping the floor with this fight, I then talked to Jormungandr. After opening this, After Sindri opens this door, we're in a little cave and there's a quick fight, and Sindri dips on me because he's scared to see Freya. I mean, that's understandable to be fair. I dealt with these next few fights by using an ungodly amount of arrows, easily taking out each enemy because I am far away. It was all going well, up until this one fight. Atreus is low-key you. Okay, we're good. Yeah, actually, it stayed good. I only got hit 7 times in all those fights, and we're at Freya, who saw the arrow that killed her son, got a little angry, and stayed a little angry. Way to accomplish the mission, Atreus. Let's get back to Sindri. I don't care about these fights. They were also easy. I only got hit 3 times. Stupid kid. Back at the house, nobody cared that I was gone, because I'm Atreus. Now back to playing as Kratos, me, Tyr, and Atreus are gonna be going to Alfheim. For what reason? To go to one of those Atreus secret pathway shrines. So let's go ahead and head our way over there. Now Alfheim to me is a place of torture. I don't like it. And we're actually fighting the light elves this time and not the dark elves, which doesn't make it any better. Back in this horrible temple, I do a couple puzzles, and every fight with the light elves are fairly simple because the light elves really don't have any attacks that I can't just block with the stonewall shield until these new guys come in, where they start throwing balls at you, they start throwing magic at you, they start doing all these red ring attacks that are not fun to focus on when you're trying to focus on the other ones that are fast and can get up in your face instantly. So yeah, the light elves suck. Maybe worse than dark elves, honestly. Some more funness later, we make it to probably the hardest fight in all of Alfheim because it combines all the annoying enemies together, and there's quite a lot of them. But I just explained why it was annoying and hard and all that, so I'm not going to go over that again. Just know I got hit with the past fights in this fight combined 27 times. I don't like this area, man. Going up the one Star Wars elevator, we almost touched the light again, but we didn't, and we made it to the mural. And the whole reason for us coming here is to see how we would stop Odin with Ragnarok and Tyr and all that good jazz. Now that that's over, we have to leave. Yep, that's the whole reason we came here, and I plowed my way, so did Tyr. All the way to Alva, the boss of Alfheim. Definitely a mid-boss at that too. Alva has a lot of attacks, especially yellow rings, that I can just sit behind my stonewall shield. This shield is slightly overpowered for this, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. She does have a couple attacks where she'll do a chain attack and then end on a red ring attack. She also has her blue ring attack, which is very slow and it's easy to shield bash, and she has a few red ring attacks that are just on their own. That's the whole boss, and I do very good damage. So Alva the boss, if you can even call her a boss, maybe like a little mini boss, was taken down in only 9 hits. Tyr murdered this elf. Actually, it's still alive, and for some reason Atreus jumps after it. Now I'm seriously trying to wrap my head around why they made this as part of the game for any reason, because why would Atreus jump after that if it was going to jump off anyway? And he already thought the elf was dead, so why would he jump after it to save it if he didn't care that it was already dead? Anyway, the dark elves are back. They're fighting the light elves, but they're also fighting us. So we have to fight the light and the dark elves at the same time. And these dark elves are the exact same ones from the 2018 game. Nothing different. This dude's staggered and moving around! What is this? I'm sorry, I know I got hit before that. What is that? They still shoot those stupid lights, and I still hate them. You know, I'm done with Alfheim. I fought the dark elves, I fought the light elves, I did it all. And I got hit 14 times in all those fights. We're leaving Alfheim, I hate this place. Back at something Casa, I get some upgrades in, and we have a quick dinner. And Atreus leaves to go to sleep, and he wakes up in another dimension, or whatever this is. And now we're in Ironwood. Oh. No! Iron Keep is all good and whatever. Angrboda shows up and I have to listen to Atreus spit game for literally 2.5 hours of my life. Now the only 2 good aspects of Ironwood is that it is visually beautiful and the fights are very easy, so I can just not pay attention to it half the time. I did get hit 4 times in this fight. 4 times is nothing. Traversing on a little bit, a few fights later, we get to Angrboda's little humble abode where we realize that father is gonna die. That's not good. And we take a literal 10-minute yak ride to the next fight, where just real quick, let me say something. something. I'm truly appreciative of how well the videos have been doing recently. Thank you guys so much for that. So if we could just engage with this video just like the other ones, it really is helping me out a whole lot when you guys do that. So please just keep it up for this one. Just engage in any way. Like, sub, hype, comment, anything really helps. But also, I'm thinking about doing Cuphead as my next video, no hit, and I might stream that. So let me know if you want me to stream. If you guys think I shouldn't, then I won't. Anyway, this fight was pretty big, but the bow really helps out. So I took it out. I did get hit 7 times though. Some smaller fights later, we make it up to this weird plateau where we realize we got some weird soul magic in us and we could put people in balls and put souls in bodies. Some weird stuff. Moving on. There's a werewolf and he hit me a lot of times. The stupid werewolf just kept hitting one singular werewolf that was in the other game, but for some reason he was absolutely destroying me and I don't want to talk about it. That one werewolf hit me 13 times and now we're in a cave and I'm skipping this whole part because it sucks. Time for yet another yak ride. Granny took a wolf, we chased down Granny, and now we're fighting Granny. This fight sucks also. Man, this area is horrible. If you don't know how Gryla works, you just shoot at her pot with your arrows. It builds up stagger and then eventually she'll get staggered and then you walk over, you hit her, it does damage. And every now and then her pot will glow and once you shoot it, it'll do extra stagger and damage. And you just do that on repeat, running around the arena, dodging or parrying her projectiles. Gryla also has checkpoints in her fight, making it way easier than it would have been. It was already easy, but it was easier. Yeah, that's what you get, Gryla. She might have low-key been vibing on her own and we just came in here and messed everything up for her life, but I don't care. She did hit me 16 times though, and I'm dipping out of here, Agrabota. Wrong home though. And there's some hellwalkers outside the old house, and I'm gonna have to take care of them with my expertise bow skills and nothing else. My plan was to completely keep my distance from these guys because they're fast and scary. I don't want to fight them close up, and the arrows are kind of overpowered. So I only got hit 5 times and took it out pretty easily. And there's Papa. Papa was not happy, and a Valkyrie showed up out of nowhere, and this was not even cursed. I wonder who that is. Now this totally random Valkyrie is nothing like the ones in 2018 post game. She is very easy to fight. She does not have a lot of health at all, and she only has a singular red ring attack on her first phase. So I really don't have to worry about that attack because Stonewall Shield is great. Oh my gosh! Like I said, this is phase 1, and I only have to get her down 3 bars, so it was not a problem. Now for phase 2, not a lot changes actually. She adds multiple new combos, but most of them are just yellow ring attacks that maybe have 1 red ring attack at the end of the combo. You can also just kind of put her in a corner and just beat her up, and that's what I did, and it was not good for her. Freya almost killed us. Boy turned into a bear. I comboed down. Me and Freya okay now. Good job, Atreus, for once in your life. So now we're gonna help Freya unleash her curse from Odin right now. So we're now in Vanaheim, and after a few quick and easy fights that only hit me 2 times, I made it to the werewolf. No, this one was actually easy. He only hit me 1 time, but Brock did get captured. It's crazy I could kill all of you in the span of 4 seconds. It was actually Freya's brother, and we're chill with him. After some quick upgrading, we go about our way, and Freya's actually not able to help us. She can only be in Hawk form. We then came across, did he just not see me, or hey buddy, the Forest Ancient, which is the first one you see in this game, but there's a lot in the 2018 game, and all you gotta do to beat these guys is when it shows its score, just throw your axe at it, and it'll build up stagger, eventually allowing you to punch it. The problem is with this fight is that those gas guys spawn, and a lot of them at that, and it's hard to focus on the Ancient not beaming me down and the gas guys at the same time, because they're very quick and annoying to deal with in a big group. But if you just stick by the tree and kill the Forest Ancient first, the rest aren't a problem to deal with. After getting hit 11 times, I fight some dogs. I also kill some dogs. And while we're on our way, we find more Odin buddies. After getting brutalized by, after brutalizing Odin's little guys, some evil beasts proceed to spawn in, making my life hard because this guy is not fun to fight. He has a fire elemental health bar, he has fire moves, he's annoying, he's quick, and he has a lot of red ring attack moves that I can't just put my shield up and block. He's just very annoying, and so was this fight. I got hit a sad 14 times. Some more traversing, we find a new enemy type that heals other enemies when you don't kill them. So we have to kill them first and then kill the other enemies. We also find some more Odin little guys. These guys are still annoying. The Bifrost is a big problem with the shields because if you hit the shield, then it gives you Bifrost. I have to reset, so I have to shield bash them before hitting them. And as we're strolling, we randomly find Fisk, a mini boss who is kind of a problem because even if I block his attacks, they apply Bifrost to me. So what I have to do is use my button mashing skills of triangle and R1 to stay as far away as possible from him, and anytime he comes near me, I just dodge backwards hoping I dodge it. Could parry it, but we're not about that life anymore. So I just stayed super far away from the boss, using as many ranged attack as possible, and took him out eventually. Moving on, we finally made it to the curse, and Freya can get rid of these roots right after I fight this monster versus kaiju.
I'm glad I paused it there because he probably would have bit me. It's looking kind of ferocious.
So for Needhog phase 1, I have to get her down a measly bar and a half. That is literally it. And I can block all her attacks with my shield, except for her one red ring slash attack that I can just dodge to the same side her hand is, and it works perfectly fine. That was phase 1. Now phase 2 adds this blue ring attack that you can just shield bash, and it takes forever to go off. So if I ever got hit by this, I would probably just delete my channel. And she adds a whole new red ring move that you could just back up, and a couple new combos, and that's about it. I only had to get her down 2.5 bars, so yet again it wasn't a problem. For phase 3, she gains some ranged attacks, like the laser that you can just dodge through very easily, and some spot type of portals that you can just run around and dodge. And using Freya's sigils in your weapons, you can knock her down off the pillars, which will put her on the ground, and she has this rock move where she'll suck rocks in and then just blast them out, but you could just block it with the stonewall shield. And then later on she'll also get a red ring attack with that, but you could just dodge it and then block the rest. And that's just about it for this phase. Not hard at all. And the next phase is like bullying. So I beat Needhog with only taking 17 hits. Freya is now free from her curse. We are now best friends, and it's time to go back to the camp. But of course, before we do that, we got some more Odin little guys to fight. The exact same enemies we fought before this. You can't just let me walk the simple path game. I'm not even going over this fight. It's literally the exact same one as last time. The sky instantly switched to day, and this fight's the same, and this fight's the same. All these fights hit me 12 times. I don't want to go over these stupid Odin fights anymore. I guess what, they're there for the rest of the game. We made it back to the camp. Brock put sonic arrows in Freya's bow. We upgraded a little bit, and now it's time to go. Man, I'm getting good at this rhyming stuff. We're back at the house. And the same second we get back, Atreus starts throwing hissy fits. He turns into a bear. He runs away again. This kid sucks. And you know what's even worse? He went to Asgard. Man, he's horrible. Well, now in Asgard, there are some easy fights before we meet this kid, and we climb the Great Wall of China. No, like literally we're climbing the wall. And there are a few fights in there, and they introduce some new enemies that you have to hit with your runic arrows first and then kill them. And then we climb the wall some more, and we finally made it to the top, and there's Heimdall. And he's just mean. What did I do to you, man?
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
At least he let me up and gave us a quick tour where he threw some guys at our face. And I also had to fight him, and I got humiliated. But we saw Thor, and then Odin stepped in and saved me. We also saw Sif, and now I'm living in Thor's dead son room. He knows what's up. Magni and Modi's sister seemed pretty mad at me for some reason. Who cares? We went to go talk to Odin. He gave us a cool sword. He took us in his basement. He then told us some weird thing about some mask pieces. And when they form the mask, it gives you all the knowledge in the entire world. And Odin wants us really bad. So of course I'm gonna help him. Like, Atreus, what are you doing? So me and Thor went to Muspelheim. I'm getting the mask for him. Hey Thor, you look slimmer since the last time I saw you. No, you're still pretty big. Anyway, we gotta go fight some guys to get to this mask piece. And I really realized that Thor is an OP companion. I don't even have to control him. He just does whatever he feels like, and he murders them. The sword is also really good. It does a high amount of damage. So with that combined with my bow, I was low-key speeding through this entire area because I didn't have to get anywhere near any enemies. Either Atreus does an insanely good amount of damage, or they lower the health for enemies when you play his part, because my damage is just ridiculous when I play him. So I always breeze by these Atreus parts, and it feels great to play him sometimes, actually, even though I hate the kid. Agrabota showed up for some reason. We did a quick mural, and we're back to fighting the mass shard. Up to now, I've been hit 21 times because there's been about 5 fights, but this fight's pretty bad. Mainly because Thor dipped on me, and with no Thor, I'm kind of useless. That dude was my hard carry. There's also just a lot of different types of enemies, especially those dogs that spit acid. Those guys suck. I don't like them. I've never liked them. And I think all the enemies can shoot projectiles at you, and it's hard to focus on all those projectiles at once. After finally taking out the final enemy, that fight hit me 15 times by itself. It happens, I guess. Finally, I got to the mask, and I retrieved it out the lava. I don't know how that's possible without breaking my hand off, but we're gonna call it a day. Odin, take your stupid mask shard.
You don't need that, my man.
Back as Kratos, my son is gone. So I gotta figure out a way to get him back and keep him safe. So we're gonna go find the Norns and ask them questions about this. The problem is, for this mission, they just throw you out blind willy-nilly, and I always forget where to go. So I found the real pathway, and it's time for me and Freya to take out some guys. And I usually just throw them off the cliff and call it a day. Kinda love that move. This guy tried to pull up on me. I'm sorry. Those guys always suck. And Dark Elves portaled into this area just so we can get enemy variety. I literally don't understand the portals at all. I fought Dark Elves a lot. They're not that hard of a fight. Next fight, I just spam my ranged attack, easily beat that, and then a witch showed up, and I'm scared of this lady, so I'm gonna use rage to take her out. And I've been hit 18 times, but there's also been like 7 fights, so that's not too bad. It's now time to fight the Frost Phantom. If you don't know how it works, you have to build up its stagger, and once you stagger it, you can hit the pillars, which will take out half its health. Sounds very easy. That's because it is easy. You just have to hit its core to build up stagger, and all of his moves I can just put on my Stonewall Shield and block, except for one where I can just dodge backwards. It's very easy to dodge. And in phase 2, it becomes a double move, and that's it. Beat the boss very fast. It only hit me 3 times. Moving on, we started hallucinating, and this part is horrible because you can't see anything and enemies can blindside you. Now there's a few fights in this fog. Fight number 1, as you're seeing, there's just a bunch of jumpy guys, and there's literally like 50 of them, and you can't see half of them because they're in the fog, and they just blindside you out of nowhere. It took a while to get lucky enough to not get hit by them. It was pure luck, and it hit me 24 times. And then the second fight was a whole lot of enemies, and I was struggling to fight these enemies at first until I realized that you didn't even have to fight them. You should have outlast them. There was a timer that I was on, and if you just survived the timer, Sigrid would show up and she would hit you out of it. And then the third fight was a bunch of little Odin fellas. There were a lot of these guys, but they for some reason had a really low amount of health, so I kind of like 3-shot them all the time, and it made the fight a lot easier. I still got hit 8 times though. Time to ride the horsey! We in fact did ride the horsey, the sea horsey, and we made it to the Norns, and they literally told us basically nothing, and I killed my. So we took the sea horsey out of there, I upgraded a little bit, and now we're back home. We talked to Brock and Sindri, and we know we need to kill Heimdall, and we don't really have a way to do it. Thankfully, they have a way. The Draupnir spear, which we don't have the spear yet. We have to get a lady to craft it, so we're gonna go do that. Brock seemed to really want to go, so they put us in Svartalfheim in some completely random area, and Brock said he'll meet us up there. I'm sure that'll have no repercussions. Nope. But me and Freya now have to get through this area. Don't know why they couldn't have just TP'd us up there. And there is now a new elemental health bar. Now I have to have the new weapon to take it down quick. I don't have that new weapon, so I have to use my axe or chains. And for this fight, I just threw my axe because these enemies are scary. They spit acid at you a lot, so I don't want to get anywhere near them. After doing some quick puzzles, we pull up on this fat guy. He spits out smoke, fire, whatever he feels like, but none of that matters if you don't get close to him, which is what I did, obviously. I've been hit exactly 10 times in the past fights. I upgraded my rage and then did 2 quick easy fights that only hit me 1 time in between both of them. Sadly, I have to fight 2 big ones at the same time. Through the wall, man. Luckily, there is explosive barrels around the arena that I just used to kill them. I just kited them around the arena and hit them with the explosive barrels, or I just hit them with my charged attack. Nothing else I really did because I was scared to fight them 1-on-2. Kind of remind me of Resident Evil fight. Speaking of Resident Evil, might do a series on that. Kind of sounds fun. Anyway, now we're outside and we had to be pest exterminators and do a very long puzzle and kill some more globbers. Oh, bye-bye. And we finally made it to the lady at the forge who made the Draupnir spear. Although something weird, seemed as if she didn't like realize Brock was there, almost as if he died or something. I don't know, but the elemental health bar is not a problem anymore because the Draupnir spear takes care of that. This first fight's kind of a tutorial to it, so it wasn't too difficult, is what I would say if I didn't suck because I got hit 8 times on it somehow. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go? This next fight is very scary. There's an ogre, another ogre, and like 8 globbers. I don't actually know the names of these guys, so I just call them globbers. And a lot of them spit acid. And it's not easy to focus on all of them at the same time, so it's kind of a difficult fight. So I decided to just throw them all off the edge, and I just got on the back of one of the ogres, killing the other ogre and everybody else who was left, and then I killed the last ogre. Made it seem easy. It was not. I then upgraded some armor, said hey to Odin and his little midget buddy, who's basically bragging that Atreus was with him. I also said hey to Odin's little guys, and they all died. Let's get out of this realm. Back at home, we have a fever dream, and now we're back to Atreus, who's still helping Odin. So now we're gonna go to Helheim to get another masterpiece, but this time we're with Thrudin. Ew. So Heimdall dipped on us, so now it's just me and Thrud to take out these Hellwalkers. Thing is, Thrud is actually OP as a partner. She is better than Thor by miles because she said she was trying to prove herself to the Allfather, so she's try-harding, and I'm okay with that. Like, we were actually breezing through Helheim until I got to this part where I had to fight 2 witches by myself, and that gave me a little trouble, but I just stayed far away from them using my arrows, and they can't touch me if I do that. We then strolled upon this big wolf and instantly decided to release him. No thoughts behind our heads. We also didn't get the mask, and Heimdall said it was a horrible idea to release the wolf. So Odin was like slightly upset. We went back home to Kratos, and there was like Hellwalkers everywhere. Can't be our fault though, right? I don't have to take out every enemy in this fight. It's a survival type of fight. Freya's trying to close the portal, so I just have to survive while she's doing that. So I just kind of stay far away and shoot my bow as I usually do. And eventually I join her in closing the portal, and Kratos saves us, and we're now playing as Kratos doing the exact same thing. And since there's so many Hellwalkers, the ranged attack that I usually use goes a far far distance, so it hits a lot of them at the same time, but it was still difficult because there's so many Hellwalkers that they could just blindside you out of nowhere. I also got a new type of rage, which just runs at someone and uses a special move on them. It's actually pretty good for big groups. Freya finally closed the portal, and me and Atreus are reunited. But we do have to go stop Garm kinda, because he's like tearing fabric holes in reality. Yeah, let's just go back to Helheim, man. These guys popped out the ice like the Avengers, so I murdered them. And we're back to another time trial thing, and this one's actually a lot worse for some reason. I was really struggling. Like, break the shield! Are you serious? Couldn't tell you the specifics on why. It was just a skill issue. Mini, he just attacked me with his back turned to me. Many smaller fights later, I finally made it to Garm. Oh, we failed that time. All right, we made it to Garm again. Garm phase 1 is probably the easiest boss in this entire series. He literally has one red ring attack, and it's the easiest attack to dodge maybe ever, and the rest of them I could just block, and I only have to get him down 3 bars. I did it first try. Garm phase 2 is a slightly different story though, just a little bit. He always starts off phase 2 with the ice beam attack that you can throw the rock back at him that he shoots at you. He also adds 2 extra ice gusts to his stomp attack, so I kind of gotta dodge around it sometimes. He also has some new chain moves and some new yellow ring combos. Now, does this make this boss a lot harder? Yes, it does actually. For some reason, I was really struggling in phase 2, probably because I had to get him down to 1/4 of his health bar, and I do literally -4 damage. One amazing thing, if he's near the ground doing a bite attack and you hit him after, he just falls down, and I can kind of beat him up after that. That made this phase a lot easier to beat. Only took me 24 hits. And for the start of phase 3, you have to knock him down with a rock that he shoots at you, and then it's basically just the same thing as phase 2. He does have a small amount of new combos, but nothing too game changing, and at around 2 bars left, he'll get back up on the mountain. You can throw a rock at him again, knocking him down. Since it was basically the same, I only got hit 8 times. But Puppy is still not dead. He in fact chased us through some buildings, and we gotta fight him again. But this fight is a whole lot easier. You just gotta throw a spear at the glowing parts and explode it. It does big damage, and then melee him a couple of times, and he has the same easy moves to dodge. So honestly, I just cleared past it pretty easily. He only hit me twice. And it seems as if we did something with our knife. Oh, we put Fenrir's soul in the dog, and now we have a giant dog. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna leave. Freya's brother got captured by the Aesir, so now we gotta go save him. Can I have like 3 seconds of break? I literally just stepped in the building. So I'm going to go upgrade, and now we're back in Vanaheim. A little bit later on, we saw a black guy, that horse lady came back, and there was also those elemental orbs that you have to shoot with the runic arrows. And I just used the orbs to kill the lady. I did get hit 4 times though, and it's time to fight some more little Odin fellas. Moving on to the actual difficult fight, the fight that had 1 too many enemies, and by 1 I mean about 7. It's the same Bifrost enemies I've been fighting the whole game, but for some reason I just haven't adapted to them. They could also teleport for some reason in front of my face. Don't know what that's about. There was nothing special about this fight. I just kept getting bullied, and I don't know why. Eventually I beat it after taking 14 hits. And then I went to go grab the moon for Skull and Hati, and then someone took it, and now there's a lightning chicken trying to hit me. And my plan was to take out the master first. That's what I'm going to call it, because it seems as if they're a little partner duo here, because the chicken is annoying to fight. So I just took out the master first, and the chicken was easy to fight by itself because you can just put up your shield and block everything it ever does ever. I made it sound easier than it was. It did hit me 11 times. We grabbed the moon, gave it to Hati and Skull, and now we can control what time it is of day. And now I have to fight a double Dreki boss fight. However, my damage is literally ridiculous, and the other Dreki most of the time just sits in the water and does absolutely nothing. So you can easily murder the first Dreki, and the second one's obviously by itself, so it's just as easy. I only got hit 4 times in this fight. Oh, that was pretty easy. And we're back to camp, and it's time to upgrade a little bit. So we set off to save Freyr. That means it's time for one of, if not the worst fight in the whole game. You just start off by throwing your axe at some random civilians, and then 2 werewolves come out of nowhere, and they have a guy that can heal them. So I have to take the guy that can heal them out first, but for some reason these werewolves were working together way too well, and they were killing me way too much. Fight actually sucks, bro. I was on this fight for an unbearable amount of time, and after I killed the werewolves, there was another fight after that, but it wasn't as bad. I got hit 32 times on this fight. After saucing the next 3 or so fights, we see a dead Needhog, turn the time of day, and now it's time to pull up on Heimdall. So phase 1 of Heimdall, he's riding his little boar thingy, and it's extremely easy. I can do the elemental siphon to where I have Bifrost on my spear, and it makes it to where my damage is ridiculous, and I just dodge everything because most of the stuff applies Bifrost, and even if they didn't apply Bifrost, they were mostly red ring attacks or attacks that I had to shield bash. Now most of his moves were pretty predictable, and he didn't have a lot of health, so I beat it in the second try. On the Heimdall himself. Now to start off with Heimdall, you just gotta throw your spear at him, and then once you hit him, you're able to hit him for the rest of the fight. You just gotta look for the openings because sometimes he will dodge. And I also just dodge everything in this boss because he applies Bifrost with basically every attack. His moves are very easy to dodge though, because you can just dodge right on most of them and it'll just dodge it no matter what. He also can slow time down, which just makes it free to dodge it. He also has elemental health bars, but if you just throw your spear at it and blow it up, it just gets rid of it basically instantly, making this boss not that difficult. Look at his health! Look at, I have to hit him one time. My damage was also really good. It was even to the point where I thought I wasn't on Gimme God of War. I was. I guess he's just a little pipsqueak. I beat him with only taking 4 hits. So let's take off his arm, and it's time for phase 2. And phase 2 is like kind of the same exact fight. Of course, he had some new moves, like moves you could block, some new red ring attacks, and a move where you have to shield bash, but like it's virtually the same thing and same strategy. However, I am using a different shield because the Stonewall shield is useless in this fight. I have to parry sometimes because sometimes you're just in a bad spot. But the parry times are really easy, just like the dodging, and I still do a lot of damage, so I only got hit 7 times. That's easy. That was easier than the fight before this. Bye-bye Heimdall. El Bozo. Moving on, we still have to save Freyr. So me, Atreus, and Freya cook up some little Odin fellas, and it's the same fight until this big fella comes into play. It was actually really easy to fight. I only got hit 3 times in this whole fight. We truck our way out of there. This guy kills himself for no reason, and we're back at the camp. I get some upgrading, and we're out of Anaheim. We could low-key start Ragnarok right now, but Atreus has a plan to go back to Odin to get the mask, or something like that. So we go back to Asgard, and it's time to retrieve the final mask piece. But before we do that, bar fight! This was actually pretty easy. All the enemies are scaled down. I got hit 9 times in this, but there's about 27 fights. So me and Drunk Thor, after he had a talk with his daughter, go to Helheim to retrieve this final mask piece. We murdered everyone here. That Frost Ancient, Thor murdered him. Everyone else, I murdered them. I grabbed the mask piece. People start spawning out of nowhere. Might be because we just killed Heimdall, but I'm gonna dip out of here. Back as Kratos, we are now set in stone. Brock died. Tyr was actually Odin this whole time. That makes a lot of sense. Kratos made a clutch play of saving the mask. We're gonna go ahead and leave because I don't want to deal with that. We go talk to Sindri. He's pretty mad. I know you're a little upset, but I need an upgrade. I need an upgrade, please. But now we're gonna go back. We can't run from our troubles, man. We're gonna start Ragnarok. So we devised a nice little plan, and me and Atreus are gonna go to Muspelheim so we can create Ragnarok himself. And there actually wasn't that many fights in this area. There was more bosses than fights, like the Flame Phantom, the same thing we fought earlier, but flame. And you have to hit 3 pillars instead of 2. That's the only change, actually. It was still easy. But now we have to fight some ancients, 2 of them, and a couple guys with the ancients. And this is not that hard either. You just have to space yourself from everybody, getting one of the soul eaters low, killing some of the little guys, then you kill the soul eater, kill the rest of the little guys, and it's a 1v1 from there on out. Not that difficult from there. That was stressful. Anyway, we talked to Surtur. He was low-key not down at first. Now he's down for some reason, and we go into some shattered dimension realm. We have to combine his heart with our chaos blades, which is what we're gonna do. But 2 Valkyries showed up from Odin, and they're literal chumps. Kristen Mist is the most fraud boss of all time. My damage already is ridiculous against them, and all their attacks, I just put my shield up and block. Literally every single one. Okay, except for a few where I have to shield bash and I have to dodge like maybe 4. But phase 1 I beat first try. Phase 2, no, Atreus, no, is the exact same thing as phase 1, except for they add literally 2 attacks. In phase 2 I got hit a couple times, but I beat third try. And then phase 3 is the same thing as phase 1 and 2, except for they add like 1 more move, and I beat that third try. It's trying to be more cinematic than that, Kratos, but you kind of ruined it. This boss is on fraud watch, and they're not on watch, it's on warning. So now we have Ragnarok on our side, and we were walking outside. I fought a chicken, I fought some more guys, I fought some more guys, I fought a dog. What would you call that, a lion? I fought some more guys. Listen, I got hit 22 times here, but it's the same fights I've done every single time. Not back at the house this time. It's time to go to war. So I upgrade as much as I possibly can, and me and boy go to sleep for tonight, because we're about to wake up and have a good day. After one last fever dream, I give a speech, and we're now in Asgard, and it's time to take care of business. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna speed run this. We fought some normal guys. That fight was easy. Did it first try. We then fought some normal guys, some big guys, and a chicken, and some more big guys. That fight was not fun. I got hit 11 times. And then we pulled up on some more normal guys, got hit by a dragon 3 times, and then the lion. I don't want to talk about the lion. Listen, this fight was already annoying enough, and then there was a dragon that was shooting at me from afar that I didn't know you could block just with your Stonewall shield. It doesn't make sense of why there's a dragon that could just kill me. Obviously, he would one-shot me no matter what because I'm doing the stupid challenge, but it doesn't make sense why there's just a random dragon out of nowhere that can just spray fire. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. It's a stupid fight. This fight sucks. This whole area sucks. This game sucks. Kratos sucks. Atreus sucks. Odin, best person in this game. I'd side with him. I fought this lion fight for 30 minutes. I hit 44 times. So past that, everything was going well. I hate my whole life. Ragnarok showed up. We're now playing as Atreus. That part was easy. I only got hit 5 times in the whole fight. We meet up with Thrud, fight some more guys, fight some more guys, and now it's time for Thor again. So Thor is a 3-phase boss fight, and he's basically the exact same as he was from the intro of the game. Like, sure, he has a couple new moves here and there, but the moves are insanely easy to dodge. But I beat first phase with only taking 1 hit, and his second phase, which you have to get down 3 more bars, just adds this 1 attack that you have to shield smash and lightning that stays on the ground, and that's literally it. It's basically the same as first phase. So I beat it with only taking 5 hits. I took another permanent hit, and I'm not going to heal that up, so it's just going to stay like that in this last phase. Speaking of the last phase, it feels oddly the same as the last 2 phases. He becomes more aggressive for sure, and has some new combos, and has like 1 new move, but other than that, it's the same moves that I've just been fighting this whole time, so I beat it in only 2 hits.
But like, why be the god of war? Why not be the god of friendship? Oh, he died. All right, time to fight Odin.
Odin's first phase has 2 phases, and the first phase of the first phase has a couple of attacks, honestly not that many. Most of them I have to dodge through the Bifrost or it being a red ring attack, and there's only 1 that I can actually just normally block. I only had to get him down 3 bars, so he only hit me 1 time. Seems to be a pattern here. But for the second phase, he splits up the ground, and he starts lighting up the ground. He does have this red ring attack and a few new combos with the old moves, and he can light up 2 floors that explode, but that's it. That changes for this phase. Everything else is the same. I do have to take out his whole health bar for second phase, but that's not really a problem because I beat this game fist only, like I've said multiple times now, and I was doing very little damage, so I know all his moves very well. So I beat it with only taking 6 hits. These bosses are too easy, man. First I started choking him out. He broke free. It's time for phase 2. Phase 2 has 2 phases, just like phase 1, except for phase 2 is just ever so slightly harder. And by ever so slightly, I mean a lot. Mostly because it has a lot of red ring attacks that are annoying to dodge when you're up close, because if you're close up, it's kind of wacky to dodge them. When you're far away, it doesn't matter. They're really easy. And some of the normal attacks I can't even just block because they apply Bifrost like in phase 1. The meteorite attack you just shoot down. All the red ring attacks you can just dodge to the side if you're far away enough. You get the shield bash 1 attack. You can block some attacks that don't apply Bifrost, and the rest you just have to dodge normally. But he has a lot of moves, and if I'm ever close up, I always get hit because man are they jank to dodge. Other than like spending 45 minutes on phase 2's phase 1, this phase wasn't that bad. No, it was actually pretty bad. I took a very long time, and I got hit a lot of times. A sad 57 times. Oh my gosh, that was the worst thing ever. Phase 2 of phase 2 adds elemental health bars, multiple of them, and he can shoot out elements that stay on the ground. That's all it changes. The rest is the exact same. I beat him 3rd try. There's no way I beat that. There's no way I beat it that fast. Odin, we put him in a ball, destroyed the ball. Sir decided he was gonna blow everything up, you know, Ragnarok and everything. Praetor sacrificed himself for no reason. Everyone's a-okay. It's time to go off on our own journey as Atreus. I hope they don't make that a game because I will not be playing that. I got hit a total of 883 times, meaning God of War Ragnarok is almost twice as hard as God of War 2018. And with that being said, the video is over, and I'm glad you watched all the way to the end and just interact some type of way. It really does help me out a lot. I'm already done filming a Cuphead video no hit, and I'm already editing it, so it should be out within the next week. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video that is suggested. Also, click on that playlist. It has all my challenge runs. Have a good day. Thank you for watching.